Hey everyone, I'm Erin and welcome to the Cardboard Republic. We have a haul video today. Here are some of the games that we got in during the month of November. We're gonna start off with Trick of the Rails. This is a light card game about building a railroad and railroad stock options. But what's really clever here are the mechanics. This combines like an 18xx style Euro game with a trick-taking game, which is not something I've ever seen before. Combining something so incredibly heavy with something so incredibly light that I am dying to try this out to see how it all meshes into one coherent game. And I've heard that people like it, so I am going to just go in with an open mind and see how this works. Then we have The Great Dinosaur Rush. This is a game that we actually previewed way back in the day, and this is our final copy of it. This was really cool because, one, I love dinosaurs, and two, you get to build the dinosaur in this game. But the game itself is also pretty neat, dinosaurs aside. You are competing archaeologists during the Great Dinosaur Rush, or the time in history when there were just a ton of dinosaur bones being discovered. You are taking things from various digs, sometimes legally, sometimes not so legally. The dinosaur bones just like fell off a back of a truck, like who knows? We're not asking questions. Then you have to get them back to your museum and build a dinosaur with them. Like physically like lay them out on the table and build a dinosaur with them. You get points if the dinosaur is, for instance, very long or has 4 claws or whatever. There are so many different ways to get points for it. And at the end of the game, you also get points if you have a little bit of notoriety. If you've stolen some bones and gotten away with it, that kind of works in your favor. Society likes a little bit of a scandal. If you've stolen too many bones, if you're the player with the most notoriety, that works against you because society doesn't really love a thief. So this is one we've played before. I am curious to see how this final copy differs from the preview copy that we had a while back. Mostly because I really liked the preview copy, so I'm curious to see what changed and what has been improved in this final version. Next up is Karmika. This is a really neat themed game. The theme is reincarnation, which you don't see very often in the gaming world, especially. You play out a series of rounds, a series of turns. Every round, you are working your way up the ladder of reincarnation to enlightenment, to transcendence. So you start out very low. If you do good things and you're a good person and you don't attack all the other players, you stand a pretty good chance of getting ahead. The catch is that sometimes you need to attack other players, right? When you attack them, when you give them an attack card and use that on them, they get to keep it. And the next round, when they've been reincarnated, they are able to play that card back on you or on any other player. So it's the idea of karma as a game mechanic. I cannot wait to try this out. I love games with interesting new themes that I haven't seen before. And I'm pumped because like this month's selections are full of them. Block by Block is our next title. This is a protest game. Players are various different factions trying to take down the government in a city. The government has not been so great. There's been a lot of brutality and they are trying to crack down on the protesters. So I am enthralled by the theme of this game. Again, it's something that you don't see very often. Such a political theme and such a relevant political theme for our current era is not something you come across too much in games. Usually, if you are going to get a political game, it's all about having power and maintaining power and using your power to control things. Whereas this game is about taking power from the people who are controlling you. And however you feel about protests, I am curious to see how this plays out in game form. Vinos is the next game. This is viticulture on steroids. It's a wine making game that is much more complex, much deeper. Um, if I knew more about wine, I could probably work in a wine tasting joke here, but frankly, I don't. So Vinos is something that Ryan has been really excited to try because viticulture, while it is a great game, is not scratching that itch for him anymore. It's just not, there's not enough there. So Vinos is a little bit longer too, and we're hoping that with the added complexity, it will kind of serve the same role that viticulture does and will attract the same crowd of gamers while also providing a little bit more substance for some of us who like our heavier games, although I wish it wasn't literally so heavy. I'm gonna put it down now. This, on the other hand, is a game that I have been super pumped for. The Harry Potter Hogwarts battle game is hands down what I was most excited to see at Gen Con. So, this game is a deck builder. What's cool is that it's a progressive deck builder. So every time you play, you add new cards to your deck that become available for you to use. Each of the little boxes within this larger box represent a year in the lives of Harry, Ron, Hermione, and Neville. And so you pick your character and you play through them, through the whole story. I love Harry Potter. I grew up on Harry Potter. I am thoroughly invested in the Harry Potter franchise, and I knew that I had to get this. I've heard that it can be a little bit on the simplistic side, which is like not surprising. But I don't even care. I don't even care. I'm gonna love it. I know I'm gonna love it. Even if everyone at the table hates it, and I can admit that, hey, maybe the mechanics aren't great or whatever. I don't care. I'm gonna love it. Colony is our next game, and this is an engine building game about completely rebuilding society after some apocalyptic event. So what I mean by engine building game is that it's a game in which you sort of are spending a lot of time setting things in motion and setting up things so that, you know, right now, this turn, I'm going to spend this turn getting this part going. And then next turn, I'm going to take what I got from this part and use it to build this part. And you're using the things that you already have to build new things, and you're constantly getting bigger and more efficient. And that's what Colony is all about. You are building your colony using dice and trying to make things play well with each other and trying to make different combinations so that you can have the most efficient and best colony at the end of the game. Red Dragon Inn Battle for Greyport is our next title. I have never played the other Red Dragon Inn game, but Battle for Greyport is a deck builder, which seems really cool. The whole idea is that you are returning to Greyport and all you want to do is go to the tavern, the inn, and have a drink, but you can't because there are a bunch of monsters there. You have to try to fight them off using the cards in your deck. It's probably more complex than that. I'm assuming that it is. And I know some people who are really, really into the Red Dragon Inn game. So I want to try this with them. And I want to see how it stacks up to, like, you know, its namesake and to other deck builders. Because there are so many deck builders out there right now that I feel like you really need to be doing something new and something different in order to earn your place in that list. And I'm curious to see how this one goes about that. Dark Rock Ventures is another game that we previewed a long time ago and just got in during November. So this is a game about mining on some asteroid somewhere far, far away. You have to simultaneously place your dice and mine your stuff and try to get goods transported off of the asteroid while also trying just not to die while asteroid mining. It's a really, really cool game. I liked it. I know some people had mixed feelings, but I just thought the theme was neat and I thought the art was really cool. And I'm kind of pumped to see it in its final form. I know I've said this before on here and like basically everywhere else, but one of the really cool things about what I do is that I get to see designers take their game from a very, very basic prototype all the way up to like a final finished copy like this and everything in between. And that's so rewarding. Finally, we have New Angeles. This is a game set in the Android universe. So if that's something you're into, awesome. If it's something you're not, probably avoid this. It is primarily a bluffing game. You play a mega corporation in New Angeles trying to take control of the markets in the city. To do that, you have to bluff and deceive your opponents and try to figure out when they're bluffing you. Now, mechanically, I know that this is not a game I'm going to really like. It's not a game I would probably try if it wasn't for the Android name, and I feel kind of silly admitting that because generally it's looked down upon to just try something because of the name on the box. But I really like the Android universe. I like what they've done with it, and I want to see what unique things this game brings to that IP. Now, that's come up a couple times already in this video where the theme of a game, the IP of a game, is enough to get you to play it, or get me to play it, when I might otherwise not give it a second look. That is a really interesting thing to me, and I'd be curious to see if any of you have felt the same way, where you're willing to try something just because it's associated with something that you like. Or, on the other hand, are you really against that? Because I know some people too who are adamantly against that. So either way, let me know. I'm curious. And we got New Angeles, so I'm gonna play it and probably hate it, but still learn something. Okay, so that is November. Those are some of the games that we got in during the month of November, and honestly, I'm really excited about most of them. We have some really cool themes, as well as interesting mashups of different mechanics that I'm curious to see how they work together. And as always, please leave a comment down below if you got anything interesting in during November. In the meantime, you can head over to our Patreon and throw us some spare change. We would really appreciate it. And any contributions you make over there help us keep all of this running. Also, please like and subscribe to this video. Oh gosh, we need to be done now. I will see you again soon. Bye.